This is my first video update coming to you from Larnaca, Cyprus on this Tuesday morning. Let's talk about some news. Let's do an update on this dirty bomb story. We have an official statement from the Pentagon from Lloyd Austin to the defense minister of Ukraine, Mr. Reznikov, I believe is his name. And Lloyd Austin has told his counterpart in Ukraine on the record officially that the United States does not buy into this Russian dirty bomb story and that the U.S. is 100% committed to Ukraine. And I believe the words that the Pentagon used was unwavering support for Ukraine. So that is the official position of the United States. That's on the record. Off the record, who knows? Who knows what Lloyd Austin knows about this dirty bomb? Who knows what the Bidenopolis White House or the government in the UK? We don't know what they know with regards to this dirty bomb stuff. We don't even know if Zelensky was in on this. This could have been some neocon, neolib, three-letter intel agency plan or provocation to bait NATO and the collective West into the conflict in Ukraine, because they understand that Russia is turning up the heat. They're about to start something very, very big, and so they would probably like to preempt that. And no better way than some sort of dirty bomb provocation in order to get the collective West into Ukraine. So we don't know what the people in power at this moment know or knew about this dirty bomb. Russia absolutely is convinced. They say they have the documents and the intel that Ukraine was. Forces in Ukraine. I don't want to say Ukraine. Forces in Ukraine and forces in Britain, that they were talking about nuclear weapons, and that there were forces in Ukraine that were very close to creating some sort of dirty bomb. Even from the Russian side, we don't have that much information, to be quite honest. Things are still very, very hazy with regards to this story. But I wouldn't put it past the crazies in DC or the UK, the neocons and the neolibs, maybe some rogue neocon, neolib forces to try to pull something like this off. I mean, wasn't it Hillary Clinton that when she was Secretary of State was sitting at some sort of meeting, and she said we should drone Assange? That was the Secretary of State who said that, and we have the minutes or the records of that meeting where Hillary Clinton stated that we should drone Assange to just get rid of him. So stuff like this is not beyond the crazies in DC and in London, and you got to always remember that right now in the United States you have a power vacuum. You've had a 2-year power vacuum with Bidenopolis in the White House. In the UK, you have a power vacuum. I mean, who's really running the show in the UK? I mean, Boris the Clown, 1 minute, Liz Truss, the next minute, literally, she was in power for a minute. Now you have globalist poster boy Rishi Sunak. He's supposedly running the show. You have a power vacuum in these countries, so anything can happen. Even trying to push or convince Ukraine to create some sort of dirty bomb provocation. But the Russians, well, they're taking this to the UN. So they've actually written statements to Guterres, and they've told him that this type of dirty bomb, if a dirty bomb is indeed used in Ukraine, well, then they would consider this, let me find the words here. They would consider a dirty bomb as an act of nuclear terrorism, is what they told Gutierrez at the UN. Quote, "We will regard the use of a dirty bomb by the Kiev regime as an act of nuclear terrorism," said Ambassador Nebenzia in a letter to the UN Chief and Security Council members, as reported by Reuters and RIA Novosti on Monday. Maria Zakharova, she came out with a statement and said this is dead serious. Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesman, he said that this is serious stuff. We have the goods on these forces in Ukraine. We have documentation. We have the evidence that they were indeed planning some sort of dirty bomb. So that's where we are with this story. The IAEA, they're going to be sending actually their chief guy. What's his name? I believe it's Grossi, I believe is his name. Anyway, he's going to be going to Ukraine with a team of inspectors, and they're going to visit 2 nuclear facilities. One facility they visited about a month and a half ago, and they didn't find any nuclear activity. But the foreign minister of Ukraine, Kaluba, he issued a statement saying that the IAEA inspectors are welcome to come and inspect Ukraine's facilities. And he said that unlike Russia, Ukraine is 100% transparent. But I wouldn't expect, if this was going to be a dirty bomb, I wouldn't expect anything happening in these facilities anyway, these state facilities. But maybe the inspectors, they know what to look for, and they know what they need to inspect in these facilities in order to understand if there was some sort of dirty bomb activity or procurement or something going on, theft of materials or something. Maybe they know what to look for. But then again, I'm sure that if the regime was involved, or if there were people in these facilities involved in this dirty bomb stuff, I'm also positive that they know what they need to hide. Anyway, we'll see what the inspectors come up with. I'm positive that they're going to go there and they're not going to find anything. But I just think that this dirty bomb, this whole thing, is probably being, if it's real, is probably being done by rogue actors. Let's just call them that, rogue forces in Ukraine and the collective West. The type of guys that specialize in these types of false flags. You know, the type of people that know how to blow up gas pipelines and stuff like that. Anyway, let's talk about this letter that was given to the Bidenopolis White House. A letter which was drafted, which was written up by a group of Democrats in the U.S. Congress, 30 Democrats to be precise, including a couple of squad members. I believe one squad member for sure, but you had a couple of progressive, quote-unquote progressives. I don't think they're very progressive, but you had some progressive squad members, some Democrats in Congress, and they drafted this letter to Biden, and they're calling on Biden to start to talk to the Russians. That's the headline, right? And it sounds good. You know, the Democrats are starting to come to their senses, and they're urging the Bidenopolis White House to open up some sort of lines of dialogue with the Russians, so we can see some de-escalation. But when you actually get to the letter and you read the letter that they drafted, you understand that all they are really doing is reiterating many of the neocon mainstream media talking points about how Russia is losing, Putin is desperate, he may use a nuclear weapon, Ukraine is winning, we support you, Biden, we support your strategy in Ukraine. We need to continue to arm the Zelensky regime. We need to continue to give them money. We need to continue to pay for their military, pay the salaries of their military, of government officials, pensions, wages, all of it. The United States needs to continue on the path of fully supporting and sponsoring Ukraine and escalating the war. But, they say, in the letter they say, we should perhaps double our diplomatic efforts and try to find some sort of off-ramp to Putin, right? Try to provide Putin with some sort of off-ramp, because whether they actually believe it or if they're just parroting deep state talking points because that's what they're paid to do, they're saying that Russia is desperate and the United States should somehow find a way to give Russia a way out of this mess that they've put themselves into. So they actually buy into the whole thing of Russia is losing and Zelensky is winning and Putin is dangerous. So let's try to maybe figure something out. Now, if you want a really good, comprehensive run through of this letter that the Democrats sent. The Democrats did send it. The letter that the Democrats drafted. Then definitely go to Garland Nixon's latest video that he put out. He goes into the entire document and reads through it, and he pretty much destroys it. He destroys it and demolishes it. And good on him. He's right, because what this document was, calling for Biden to negotiate with Russia, to start opening up more diplomacy with Russia. What it really was is a way for the Democrats and the progressives, the squad, and all these people to stay in power, right? To distract and deflect from possible protesters. You know, the type of people that were hounding and harassing AOC in her New York, her Bronx town hall. You know, those two protesters who completely demolished AOC and called her out for the warmonger that she is. Well, the Democrats and the squad members that created this letter, all they want to do is they just want to be on record to say, hey, look, don't yell at us, protesters, progressive protesters, constituents, when they're giving a town hall meeting. Don't yell at us. Don't protest at us. Look, we actually sent a letter to Bidenopolis and we called for diplomacy. We want to find peace. We want to de-escalate. That's the purpose of this letter. Nothing more, nothing less. It's all about retaining and keeping power. That's all it is. So they create this letter. They don't stray away from the neocon, the DC approved think tank narrative. They don't dare question that. And you can see in the letter, and Garland Nixon goes through it point by point, they don't dare question any of the neocon policies with regard to Ukraine. Not one bit. But they just kind of throw in this little caveat of let's perhaps do a little more diplomacy, as if, you know, they're doing any diplomacy. From zero diplomacy, let's go from zero diplomacy to I don't know, level 1 or 2 diplomacy. That's pretty much what they're saying, but they don't dare question any of the weapons being sent or the mercenaries or the NATO proxy war, none of it. They're just kind of creating a document to say, look, we like peace as well, so don't be angry at us, Democrat voters or progressive anti-war activists. Don't be mad at me. AOC, well, you know, we saw the tongue lashing that she got. But me as your progressive congresswoman, congressman, I'm trying. I'm trying to find peace. See, here's the letter. So anyway, that was the document that was sent to Bidenopolis. The White House, they rejected the document, of course. They came out with a statement, and well, they said that the only way that negotiations with Russia can happen is when Ukraine decides it, right? We've been very clear, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. Here's her quote. We've been very clear. Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, is what she told reporters. She said that this is a decision that President Zelensky is going to have to make when it comes to any type of conversation with Russia and any type of negotiation. This is so, everything is so circular with negotiations in Ukraine and this position, isn't it? Because everyone knows that Zelensky, the person Zelensky, is controlled by the collective West. Everyone knows he's a puppet. He's the puppet clown President Zelensky is. I don't think that's a secret anymore. So he's completely controlled by the collective West. But yet, he's the only one that can decide when to negotiate. And so the U.S., the EU, Macron issued a statement along the same lines. Ben Wallace pretty much was saying the same thing. The UK, all these people are saying, look, we're only going to negotiate once Zelensky tells us he's ready to negotiate. But they're the ones that control Zelensky, so just tell Zelensky to negotiate. But no, they won't do that. The whole thing is just a farce. If they wanted to, the U.S. could deliver a script to Zelensky and say, Zelensky, here's your latest script. Here you go. This is what you're going to read on the TV tonight. Here it is. Oh, okay, thanks. Thanks. That's what Zelensky would say. He'd go, okay, thanks. Okay. And he would read the script, and that would be that. That's all they would have to do. And that script would just say, look, we would like to de-escalate, and we'd like to negotiate with Russia. Let's sit down. But they can't do that. What a farce the whole thing is. Let's do some clown worlds and wrap this video up. Let's see, do I have one clown world? One or two clown worlds that I can pull up here? Let me think. The EU wants Switzerland and the UK to join the gas price ceiling. They also want to resell Russian fuel at a markup. This is a hilarious story. This is not even a clown world, but the European Commission, they believe that Switzerland and the UK should also participate in the price ceiling on Russian gas, according to Bloomberg. Only then will the price ceiling be effective. And in addition, according to media reports, the EU is considering introducing a higher price for energy exports outside the Union. That means that the EU is looking to make some money off of the gas exports, sell it at a markup, probably to the poor countries that the EU claims to care about so much, right? To sell them the gas at a markup. Of course, the Kremlin, they've said that they're not going to sell any gas that has some sort of ceiling imposed on it. So Russia said, if you guys decide to put a price ceiling, we're just not going to sell it to you all. But they're trying to get Switzerland and the UK on board. I thought the UK was out of the EU. I guess not. I guess they have to do whatever the EU tells them to do as well. And in the EU, they're saying we'll buy the gas at our price that we dictate. We're going to put a price ceiling. We'll buy the gas at that price. And then, maybe we'll sell that gas for a profit. One would think that if the European Union has this gas shortage, they would prefer to provide the gas to their people. But nah, why give the gas to our people and have them heat their homes, power up their businesses and industries, when we could sell it at a markup and make some money? Anyway, it's not going to happen. Maybe the UK and Switzerland, they get on board with this price ceiling thing, but Russia's not going to sell them the gas. That's the official statement from the Kremlin. Price ceilings, we're not going to sell it to you. But boy, is the EU man, they are just something, huh? I'm not going to say what that something is, but boy, oh boy. Let's see. Let's do a quick clown world here. And I'm trying to see if I have a clown world. I have, okay. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this story, but I'm going to throw it out there because it's pretty, pretty crazy. So if there are people in Germany that can confirm this, because this comes from Der Spiegel, then please let me know if this is indeed true. If this translation is true, because there are reports that, according to Der Spiegel, in order to set an example to citizens, there are German German ministries that have started saving on energy under the slogan, and I quote, "Freeze for the people." This is the slogan they're using. Freeze for the people. German ministries like the Interior Ministry, the Defense Ministry, the Foreign Ministry. So they're keeping their temperatures. They're keeping the temperature in their office buildings at a certain level. You know, no hot water in the bathrooms, and all of these things. And this campaign of trying to conserve on energy is running under the slogan "Freeze for the people." Now, this is from Der Spiegel. Allegedly, this is from Der Spiegel. I can't confirm this, but let me know if this is indeed true. And another clown world is coming from Iran, and this one's a good one. This one is true. I have confirmed this. The chief of the general staff of the Iranian armed forces, Major General Bagheri, in response to the EU sanctions imposed on him, said this. 4 days ago, the EU put my name on its sanctions list because of sending drones to Russia. Well, I give the Europeans permission to confiscate all my assets in banks around the world and use them to buy coal for European citizens. There's a master troll there from this Major General Bagheri. Feel free, Europe, to confiscate all my assets, take it all, and use it to keep citizens warm. But of course, the EU is not going to do that. They'll probably confiscate the assets and then resell them at a profit, and then they will pocket the money. You see how the European Union works? Oh boy. Anyway, that's my video, everybody. Be pretty cool to live here, huh? All right. Let's see. Where's the exit? I think down that way. theduran.locals.com. Check out Alexander's channel. Check out the Duran's channel. Look for us on Rockfin as well. And Duran Shop. 10% off. Use the code. Good day. Take care.